You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good Monday morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, June 9th, episode 3708, brought to you by WERM Flooring. Good morning, horse people.
They're in the gate. And they're off in the Belmont Stakes. And as expected, Rodriguez bounces out very quickly. Uncaged has plenty of early interest, as does Crudo, who sprints up alongside Rodriguez. Journalism secures the fourth spot. Baeza's a little bit keen. He is in between horses and 4 lengths off the lead. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty cruises up along the inside and is suddenly sharing the second position. Hill Road is second to last, and Heart of Honor is at the back of the field. 7 lengths covers them through an opening quarter that went in 23 and 2/5 seconds. And so the lead belongs to Rodriguez, who's in front by a half length. Crudo alongside second. Sovereignty galloping strongly right next to his rival, Journalism. Journalism puts his head into third. Does that Preakness winner. A length and a half behind them comes Uncaged. Baeza is 5 or 6 lengths off the lead. Hill Road and Heart of Honor. They're heading toward the half-mile pole. Hall of Famer Mike Smith and Rodriguez carved out that half in 47 and 3/5 seconds. Crudo a length and a half behind him in second. Journalism in the clear, getting a good trip. Uncaged at the rails. Sovereignty in between those two is 5th down, 4 lengths off the lead. Baeza has asked for a bit more at this stage. He's hard-ridden, 6 lengths off the pace. Hill Road is trying to match strides with him. Heart of Honor has dropped out. 3 quarters in 1:12 and 1. Journalism makes a decisive move with 1/4 mile to go, and he takes command of the Belmont Stakes. Sovereignty angles out to try and run him down. It's a rematch of the Kentucky Derby as they come to the 8th bull, and here comes Sovereignty. Sovereignty goes right by Journalism once again, leaving absolutely no doubt who the best 3-year-old in the world is. Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado in the Belmont Stakes.
Why did neither of us pick Sovereignty again?
I don't know, but you had him, I think it's your second horse, which is like picking the 2 favorites, which is like super lame. But you know what? I got to tell you, first of all, I didn't get to see it until the next day because I recorded it and I went back to watch it and it freaking cut off before the Belmont started. I had 2
it went
different.
Late? Yeah.
I don't know. Was it late?
It started
Is that what
late,
happened?
I think. Yeah.
Oh, I was so frustrated. And I searched both those recordings, but like 5 hours apiece, and both of them, neither one had it. So I was watching it. But I think what happened in my brain, and I've been wanting to clear this up like the whole weekend, is because for some reason, you know, we had names like Journalism, Sovereignty, and Sandman the whole time. And I thought Sovereignty in this was Sandman. And I was like, in my head, I was so confused by them. So anyways, it was my screw up, and I'm just going to be like you and just pick the 3 favorites because why not?
You know,
because that's how you win.
It was amazing that Sovereignty pulled it out again. And then it does make you wonder if he had run that extra race, you know, going for the Triple Crown, would he have been able to have the stamina to do it?
Right.
You know?
It's
so,
like,
I don't know.
I kind of picked Journalism because I was like Secretariat, maybe, you know, we train harder. He's going to win the Belmont, you know, but no, they should have laid low like Sovereignty and just given him a couple extra weeks off. But yeah, it was a fantastic race. I mean, fantastic.
And, you know, obviously Sovereignty, even if the race had been longer, I think Sovereignty would have won. You know, if it had been the 1.5 miles, Sovereignty was pulling away at that point.
Oh, so, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations to everybody that did get it. Did you bet any money this time?
No, because I did. Oh, listen,
Good thing.
My life has been hailstorms and rain and heavy wind. And I think I had like a couple hours without weather. So I was able to go ride. And so I was like, I'm going to ride my horses and I'm going to tape this and I'm going to come back and then not watch it.
All of us, including a lot of the listeners I know, were concerned about you over the weekend because your area definitely made the national news and how it was going to be Armageddon.
Oh my God. They said we were going to get CD-sized hail. And I was like, there's half the population doesn't even know what a CD is.
Good point.
Let me just tell you, it's big. It's big. It's bigger than softballs.
And then they were saying 100-mile-an-hour winds, which is a Category 2 hurricane. I mean,
So, we were prepping. I mean, that's the thing about storms like this is, several days in advance, and everybody had been warning us. And I almost feel like, I'm never going to take it for granted, but when there's too much warning, and it's like psychotically, people are just going crazy about it. I almost feel like it's like a media thing where people are trying to get clicks, because it did not happen like that at all. But people got clicks and shares because they were saying it was going to be this crazy, terrible thing. But again, I will always listen to it. I had the place locked up. I had all the horses in. I had the grills secure. I had the trampoline set up tight.
Trampolines are the first thing to go in the neighbor's yard.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. So we had everything ready, and then we got a little wind and rain last night because we were watching it come towards us, and as it got closer and closer, it just melted away.
To be fair, I think Texas ended up with your weather, because there was even a TV station in Texas that the building got demolished. They're off the air.
Oh, yeah. No, other people got it. It was just me. They were telling me I was going to get 100-mile winds, and we did get some winds and then some rain, but that's it. And I did talk to Tara, our listener in Texas, and they got no hail, so just a couple inches of rain in 5 minutes.
I know we have a lot of listeners down there. Jennifer made a comment when I showed her what your weather is going to be. She said, maybe she ought to consider that offer from the Turnpike.
Oh, God.
And move someplace where there's not tornadoes. I said, yeah, but we were trying to figure out where there isn't weather and natural events, and we couldn't come up with much.
There's no place that's safe aside from Swink, Oklahoma, where Craigslist Carl came from, because Swink doesn't need anything. The horses don't get sick. They don't need their teeth floated. They don't need vaccines. Every time we watch the weather, we watch where Swink is, and they get nothing.
They get missed.
So I'm kind of thinking that this 4-person town in southeast Oklahoma is kind of where we all need to go.
We can all have a redneck commune there. Well, we have internet sensation Liz Hill Hieber on to join us and talk about her success and the rescue horse referred to as the Moose Llama. We're going to talk to her. She's absolutely delightful. And we're going to take a look at the best trail horses, breeds, that is. And we're going to see if we agree with the list we found. Plus, in the Auditor post show, I got to talk to you guys in the Auditor post show about a bad horse situation we saw on a documentary. And that led me down the Reddit rabbit hole, and I found this list of very funny comments about what's wrong with horses in movies and TV. Plus, we have a couple of our hosts who got TV contracts, their movie contracts, and they'll be making their books into movies. So I'm going to send this list to them and say, don't do any of these. But it was very funny. So we're going to do that as well in the Auditor post show. But for right now, we have some daily Whinnies to do. We have a bunch of Auditor birthdays today. Spirit, Kelly, Laura, Allison, Steph, Nancy, and your friend Larissa's birthdays today, right?
Whoop, whoop. Yep, it is.
Well, happy birthday to all of you. We hope you have a fantastic day. Are you going to see Larissa?
Yeah, she's actually coming over right now. She's bringing... Do you remember the horse that I started called Legs?
Yes.
And Legs was the horse that if you lead her forward, she would rear and just I started her and I long lined her. Everything was great. Then I go to get on her and she wouldn't move. So we employed Monty helped with that, and we employed some getting her to move forward concepts that were, acceptable to her. And so Larissa's now got her under saddle and she's riding her, and she's like,
oh wow,
I just can't get her to go. She just doesn't want to go. So yeah, so she goes. She's just so sluggish. So she's gonna come over and we're gonna use Maverick, and I'm just gonna have her follow me around and on this baby horse, because the best thing to do for a young horse is to follow an older, quiet gelding. And so that's what's going to happen today. And we will get some video and let you guys know how it went. Because she does it all alone.
Bolter.
Yes, for sure. For absolute sure, 100%.
Well, that is a perfect horse to use with the babies to settle them down a bit.
Yeah, I know. Maverick or Carl, one of them will come out here and lead her around. And just, again, if you have a young horse that has trouble steering or going or stopping, have them follow an older gelding. It's the best training tool out there, I swear.
All right, let's do yours.
Okay, well, I've told you guys about the snake that has taken up residence around my house, around my barn, and again, anything can live. I don't care as long as you don't scare me. And so I was in the barn the other day and we had a whole lot of rain and this snake came swimming over into my cross ties. And it was ginormous. And Chad was there and Lucas was there and I have pictures of it. And I didn't make it up. It actually happened. And this thing was like probably, I thought 6 feet long. And, and so I was like, okay, I did kind of the thumbs up, thumbs down, should he live? And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's nice to have a big snake like that to eat all the mice. And I was like, and it only came out because it was raining. Bull, that sucker has decided that where I am is where it needs to be.
You have a new friend, huh?
I had Groot in the cross ties and I'm standing there with him and I have his bridle on and I'm taking the bridle on and he just bolts forward and I was like, you son of a gun, what are you doing? I go to back him up and I was like, oh my God, it was right behind his back legs. Like,
yeah, that's not good. A friendly snake like that is not good with the horses.
Like I said, I'm like, either we're going to be best friends or mortal enemies. And so then fast forward to the later part of the day, because I'm like, don't step on it, and we are not. And so Gru was actually quite good for the snake being behind his back legs.
Scooter would have stomped that thing into 50 pieces.
Oh no, we were both like, and so then I go into my feed rooms in my trailer because it's up off the ground and keep nice out. So I open the door to get a bag of grain and I reach in and get a bag of grain and I turn around and the snake is right by my foot.
Oh no.
Stop it.
I would have been done. I would have never went to the barn again.
There's some sort of like mental something that happens to you. And now I screamed. But I scream the F word like really loud all the time. And it's like I yell it and Lucas is with me and he's like, Mom, it's just a dog leash in the yard. Everything looks like a snake. There's a hose going down to water the trees. And I'm like, every time I go by it, I'm like, ah! So I've been on edge, Glenn. I've been a little on edge.
Between hail, 100-mile-an-hour winds, and a 7-foot snake.
So I talked to husband number 2, Ginger. I love her. She's so tough. And she is the quintessential. She's the farm chick we all think we should be, but we're not. And so I'm like, listen, I don't want to kill it. I don't. It's so beautiful and so nice. And it hasn't really been mean to me. It's just scaring me. It's ruining my life. And so I just said, listen, do you think you can catch it? And she's like, yeah, you just grab it. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't just grab it.
You just grab it. I don't just grab it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, just if you could just move it, like, I don't know, take it to
3
your grandpa's
away,
farm
please.
and turn it loose, whatever. So just do something else with it. And so I got a photo yesterday of, you described the photo, Glenn. I sent it to you.
Yeah, and you know how much I like snake pictures. They're even forbidden on the Auditor page. But this is to be an 8-foot snake. It is long.
It was bigger.
Snake.
It was bigger than 6 feet. She measured it and it was 9.
I was going to say
feet.
That's an 8 or 9 foot snake. That is not one you want scaring the horses because then you get hurt.
Yeah. No, it's
what
bad.
happened to the snake? I got to ask.
Okay, so the picture I have is of you. I said she took of her with her boot on its neck. Okay. And then she proceeded to, after putting the boot in the snake's neck on top of it, she lifted it up and she put it in some sort of container and moved it. To me, she did not move it far enough. She put it across the street.
That's not far enough. That snake will be back tomorrow.
That's what I said. And she did text me and say that there was a considerable amount of screaming because she did not, number one, she forgot how bad snakes smell. They smell really bad. And she's like, and also this sucker was so big. And I'm like, you're a hero. Like, you're my hero. Like, you are the coolest thing. And I said, I can't believe you made that snake scream because you're also the toughest woman in the world. She was like, no, it was me screaming. It was me. I screamed the whole time. I was like, well, if you screamed and you still did it, just imagine what would happen to me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so anyway, snake has been removed. We put it at Patty's farm. No, I'm just kidding, Patty. We didn't put it at your farm.
That would have been far enough away, actually, I think.
I know, but then Patty would have to deal with it. That's for those who don't know. That's my neighbor who lives down the street that listens to this show. So the snake has been captured and relocated.
I'm just afraid it's not far enough.
It's not far enough. I know, but don't say that. I don't need any.
Well, it could get hit by a car as it's crossing the road, and then that wouldn't be your problem.
She said she put it way off the road, so I think she drove down somebody's driveway.
So it's at somebody else's house now, it's terrifying their kids.
Well, they have there's 100 open acres and there is a driveway that goes down it, but there's no house there. So I think she just drove it down there and put it. I'm hoping she got farther away than just walking across the street.
You know what, the snake's going to go, this old place I was at was so exciting. This is boring. I'm heading
back. So much better.
I could scare horses there. I could scare that lady. She screams every time she sees me.
Yeah. It's just too much. I didn't want to kill it. I felt like, in the movie Gladiator when he puts his hand out and he's like thumbs up or thumbs down. And I'm like, oh, thumbs up. I let the gladiator live, but I didn't want to. Oh, but yes. So that is where we're at right now. And I will tell you that all afternoon, I could breathe. I was walking around and
I'm
the
with
reason
you.
I have lead ropes everywhere is because
I am with you.
Well, people are like, why do you leave lead ropes laying around on the ground? Well, that's because I have Homer who drags lead ropes and takes them off the hooks. My basset hound and takes them around, and then he likes to scare me. He likes to see me scream too. So I am now I had such a better afternoon yesterday knowing that the monster was not the anaconda or Loch Ness was not sitting behind me.
Jennifer was right. Sell to the turnpike. You got snakes. You got big hail.
I'm not selling. No.
Hey, real quick, we want to mention that in 2 weeks you're going to the movement. Is there still spots available?
I do want to point out real quick that if they put the turnpike in, it's probably going to go right next door, which is going to displace all of the snakes to come over to my house. So
there you go.
There's no win. There's no win. Yes, the Movement 2025. Please come hang out with Monty Roberts and I in his home in California and his ranch. It's in the central coast of California, Flag is Up Farm. It's beautiful. It's the heart of wine country and horses. And we are going to have such a fun weekend. It's going to be Monty and me and Dr. Siemens, guest of the show all the time. Dr. Madison Siemens, always super cool. Olympic gold medalist, the first ever Olympian to win the gold in eventing for the United States, Tad Coffin, is going to be there. That's right. And his wife is an artist, and Kelly is his wife, and Kelly and Pat, Monty's wife, are going to do an art show. Jared Rogerson is doing a concert. We're going to have a wine and cheese night on Friday night with Jared Rogerson to do the concert. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be a great weekend. So there are some tickets available still. It's June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So please come out if you can to hang out with us.
And I know Nellie Kennedy is going to be there too. And I'm just going to say a special hi to Nellie. Haven't seen her in a long time.
She is a force to be reckoned with, man. She's amazing.
Well, very good. Well, again, it's MontyRoberts.com, right? Where they can go and get tickets?
Yes. Go to MontyRoberts.com. You can click through to the movements. I think it's on the events page, and you can get tickets there.
I did want to mention the big news when I checked my feed this morning was that this made every national news station out there. Remember you talked about the runaway pet zebra?
Yes, I did on Weird News on Wednesday.
They caught it. After a week,
What?
The zebra was loose in Tennessee for a week. And apparently there was spottings of it running through yards and in the woods and things like that. And it took a drone that went up and actually found the zebra. And for some reason, they had to tranquilize it. They found it in a field and they had to tranquilize it because it's a zebra. They weren't getting anywhere near it with all that commotion with the sheriff's office and all of that. So they had to tranquilize it. And then for some reason, and I don't know the reason, They flew it out by helicopter. They strapped it into a strap and then flew it out underneath a helicopter to an awaiting trailer. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe it was so far in that they couldn't get a trailer near it, is my guess. And that's the reason they flew it out. But if these people these people bought it the day before it escaped. So if these new owners have to pay the rescue bill, it's going to be one expensive zebra because they used sheriff's helicopters and there was all kinds of departments there and everything. So it has been reunited and hopefully with a reinforced fence at their property.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know if you saw any of the memes, but there were some very funny memes. They had the zebra at a Waffle House. They had it in cities. They had it panhandling on the side of the road. I mean, there were some very funny memes about the zebra. So anyway, the pet zebra is back at his home and hopefully will stay more than a day. I'm happy.
Oh my gosh. They had to airlift it. And there is nothing funnier than seeing a zebra being carried by a helicopter.
The look on his face is, damn, like they caught me. That's the look on his face. It's like, man, they caught me. And I'm sure he's a little drugged up too because they tranquilized him. Worm flooring. You know what? If you're hauling zebra in your trailer, you need worm flooring because you need a tough floor because the zebra's not happy about it. So head on over to wormflooring.com now to check out the worm flooring for your trailer, especially if you have aluminum floors in your trailer. You know, it's a barrier against heat and wet. You won't have any liquid get underneath to rot your floors anymore. Your floor will last 10 times longer. And, you know, it just works. And it's grippy so that you don't have to worry about your horses slipping on it. And, you know, it's so easy just to clean it out. So head on over to wormflooring.com now. You can choose colors too, like 100 different colors. That was the hardest part, wasn't it, Jamie? It was picking the color.
So I got the green and black in my trailer, and then I got the matching green and black for my barn aisle. And again, none of this, they didn't buy advertising till we had already done all of it. So it's not like I got it for free. Like it's just, I found this product because I wanted something better in my aluminum floor trailer because I just wasn't picking up the mats and cleaning out. And I was just terrified that the aluminum was going to dissipate and my horse is going to fall through the bottom. You know, all those panic things that happen in our brain when we're driving horses places, like, oh my God, they're going to fall through the bottom on the freeway, you know, like that kind of thing. So I got it there. And then I realized my barn aisle was too slippery and the concrete that I had, it was supposed to be scraped and then it wasn't. I mean, it kind of wore down and the horses were slipping, walking across the concrete. And so, yes, I got the worm flooring, and WERM stands for We Eliminate Rubber Mats because I didn't want rubber mats in my barn aisle either because that's a pain to clean. So yeah, for the win, worm flooring, the best.
Well, our guest today is a voiceover artist and a singer, but she is probably well known for her social media videos about her horse, who we're going to find out about in a second. And we're going to learn about how this all happened with Liz Hill, and it's Hieber, right?
That's right. You got it. Rhymes with Hieber.
So you are here because one of our auditors, which is our Patreon supporters, Hannah, asked that she sent an email and everything and said, you have to come on because you're so popular now and you have to come on our show. So that's why you're here. It's
Hannah.
Hannah.
You legend. If you pop into my comments, I'll send you a Hieber equine hat because this is so sweet of you to
Hannah's going to be listening today.
Oh my gosh. Please send me a DM or send me a comment. I need to get you a hat. You are so sweet.
Well, how long have you been doing the TikTok social media thing?
So here's what had happened. I thought I was above TikTok. I thought that was just for like the Gen Z kids. And my sister-in-law was like, hey, you know, people post everything on there. Your horses, like someone might enjoy seeing like the horses in the farm life. And so I started, oh my gosh, it'll be 3 years in October if I'm mathing correctly. And it started when my first TikTok was I was taking my 2 geldings to the regionals for dressage championships or whatever. And my first TikTok, I was walking them up to the trailer, all hippy skippy happy. And that first video got like 5,000 views. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm internet famous. Like, this is amazing. Little did I know that Missy would just far surpass all of that.
So you are a voiceover artist. Hollywood? Are you in California?
No, I'm actually in Nashville. And it's a very funny story. And I'll try to abbreviate it as much as possible because all my stories are long stories long. I was in the music industry for a long time in LA. That's how I met my husband. I I had a horse, my first horse. His name is Cairo. He's one of the geldings in that first video. He broke his right hind leg. He broke his P2 into 5 pieces when he was 7 in a turnout accident. And I just got a record deal. And basically the vet was like, good news, bad news. His leg's broken. That's the bad news. But the good news is if you happen to have a lump sum of cash, we can do surgery. And he has a decent prognosis of having
a record deal.
Literally, I took my advance from my record deal and I was like, please take my money, fix my horse. And that was the single best decision I could have made, because after he got out of the hospital, he was in a cast for a long time. And I basically needed to consolidate my life. I was living in Orange County, California, commuting up to LA to record my album. And so someone told me, oh, there's this rehab guy at this barn up in LA. I was like, perfect. Moved my horse there. Well, the rehab guy is now my husband. And after my record deal ended, we kind of looked at our lives and we're like, what do we want to do? And I said, well, I think I want to pursue songwriting. So we moved to Nashville, which is why we're here. And then during COVID, I was doing voiceovers as well, but my voiceover work just kind of exploded. And here we are, the wild tales that lead us to where we get to.
Before we get to Missy, the horse that everybody that's made you really famous, let's go back to the horse that was hurt. You ended up showing that horse again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So it was amazing. Cairo is just a rock star, and all of my horses have the craziest stories. I literally, he was what I thought was a PMU foal, like a Premarin foal that was basically came out of that industry. I was told he was Shire quarter horse. Come to find out, he actually at least is half Connemara. All that to be said, really plucky guy. And now that I know he's half pony, I'm like, oh yeah, what other horse would come back from a broken leg and go to compete? I think we competed in the 80s and 90s. And then he took me all the way up to 4-1 in dressage. And I got my bronze medal on him with a broken leg.
That's a big deal for a horse with a broken leg.
He's just an angry old man. And he came out that way. I've had him since he was 5 months old. He's always been an angry old man. And I think he was just too stubborn to let a broken leg stop him from doing what he wanted to do.
I think it takes that kind of horse, though, to do that.
100%. Honestly, I can't even put it this. I don't know how to put it any other way. He's like a pissed off jumper. Like he loves to go. He sees 3 strides out and he's basically like, get the out of my way, lady. And I think you need that attitude to do all the things he's done despite his broken leg.
Then Missy came along. Little did you know.
Oh my God. Again, my stories are all long stories long. So Cairo is my original horse. And then we moved to Nashville. Cairo was boarded. And this horse farm came up for auction in 2019. And my husband and I go, oh my gosh, we couldn't afford it at the time, but it was an absolute auction. And I put on my lucky pants and I said, we're going to this auction. And we couldn't afford it, but apparently nobody else could that day. So we got it for much less than what it should have gone for, but our absolute top dollar. And I go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wait. We have a horse farm and 1 horse. We need a second horse.
Obviously.
Obviously. So at the time, I still thought Cairo was a draft cross. I thought, I'll find another draft cross. This will be great. I found Gentle Giant's Draft Horse Rescue and reached out to them and said, hey, I promise this circles back to Missy. Said, hey, I would love to adopt this horse, Nimbus. He's on this site. They said he was Dutch harness horse. I'd never even heard of a Dutch harness horse, but he has this beautiful Clydesdale coloring, 17 hands. They had a picture of him jumping and his adoption fee was $1,000. I'm like, what's wrong with this picture? But I'll take him. And they had said, well, you're outside of our area. We don't adopt out to.
We've had them on and they have told us.
I can't say enough good things. So I had some articles written about Cairo's recovery and I sent them. I didn't take no for an answer. I sent them these articles and said, look, if anybody's committed to taking really good care of a horse, despite some crazy things happening, it's me. Can I please try this horse? And so they let me fly out and try Nimbus. Again, this Nimbus has a tie to Missy. So I adopted Nimbus and he came home. Now we have 2 horses. Fast forward when we decided we're not messing around. We're going to get a brood mare for Tantine. I put a post out on a brood mare group in Facebook and Edward popped in there and he says, hey, I have a horse that I think would be a good fit to carry for your mare. And I'd said, needs to be real big. Tantine is the old school stocky Holsteiner. And so I don't even know if I got a picture of Missy. Not that it would have mattered before, but he said, I've got this horse. She's about 16 hands. She's about, 12. Bless Edward. And I in no way do I think he pulled the rug on me, but Missy's a little shorter and a little older. That's fine. But so he said, $500. And I'm like, $500 for a lease for the season? He said, no, $500 and you could take her.
That
and
always says something.
Oh, God. And my biggest regret is not filming my husband's face when Missy stepped off the trailer. And I shouldn't say stepped, I should say sashayed, because she walks like a big, fine woman with her hips a-swanging. And Missy showed up and we, knew nothing really about her. Edward had said that he really loved her. He was really sad to see her go. And I see why, because her personality is.
I got to say, though, she got her name, and we're gonna her name by viewers, right?
Yes.
Was named by viewers.
Yes.
Is Moose Llama, and I was like, well, that's really rude until I saw her, and I was like, that kind of fits because this is an odd shaped horse.
So some of the other proposed names were Spare Parts, the Barge. Her back is so long. Her everything is so long. So
her neck, her everything.
Yeah, for listeners who haven't witnessed Missy in all of her glory yet, there's one video where a saddle fitter comes and just eviscerates her. Like, we're crying, laughing.
Jamie, you have to go to the Facebook page and look at this horse. It is the oddest looking horse.
Well, and here's the joke on all of us. So I'm assuming she used to drive. We didn't know that she was broke to ride. She just showed up and we thought, what a funny looking creature. And then we put her on a lunge line and we go, because she's still a funny looking creature, but with the most magnificent, floaty, active trot you've ever seen. And you go, this just defies science, logic, religion, gravity.
Yeah, with that back and hind end, you would think that at all.
No. No, her composition is a joke. Or conformation, is a joke. Both are composition and conformation. Yeah. But then she moves and you go, I don't know what I'm watching, but I can't stop watching it. And she had, her top line was not there and her neck was the opposite way you wanted it to go. And then she's got this giant, and I do mean giant, Roman nose. And so when she sticks her neck straight up.
I don't think I've seen a Roman nose like that in a long time.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's like you need a bigger noseband for your halter or bridle just to fit over that nose.
Well, and here's the funny thing is Cairo Nimbus and Missy all wear the same bridle to the same fittings. It's just
Is it warm blood?
Yeah, they're all in a warm blood. It's funny because again, Cairo's half pony, but he's just got a massive head. But it's just, I don't even know. It's an optical illusion. Again, I'm putting the same bridle on 3 horses, but I'm like, how does your head look 6 times bigger than everyone else?
So how did this what do you think? Obviously, you posted some videos and they went viral.
Yeah.
What do you think it was? And I found this too when I was watching the videos. I couldn't stop watching this horse and going, how does any of that work? It's kind of like watching an accident along the highway. You go, I just can't stop watching that because it works. Great mover, just doesn't seem like it should.
Again, the joke is on all of us because now we've had her, we were mathing it in our brain. She's been basically in work for about 2 years. And work is a very loose term. We go very slow with the Moose Llama. But joke's on us. She now goes in a frame. She now engages her little tushy and actually she makes a lovely picture until she hears a squirrel and then she goes back to Moose Llama and it's great. But I think what people have bought into is number one, I don't take anything that seriously. And this is all just comedy at this point for me, but Missy's down for the joke. And it started with, will she even wear a saddle? Well, now that I know she was broke, she didn't care. But even things like I'm positive she didn't jump and she's gone through a jump chute and the bigger they get, the more she tries. It's just like, she just has this funny way about her that's like, oh, okay, you want to, joke's on you guys. I'll keep trying. And it's so sweet. But at the same time, she's also kind of she has a small screw loose, but a small one.
Okay, I'm watching your video of jumping my magical mystery mutt for the first time. And all I can say is, oh, bless her.
I know.
Oh, God bless her.
I know.
I've never, I mean, Bless her heart.
She's definitely put together by a committee and not a
No. I say God sneezed. Like he was in the middle of it and then he just like sneezed and went, oops.
Well, so you have a good sense of humor about this, because if you took this horse seriously and people ripped you to shreds in the comments, you would have been crying in your sleep every night.
I feel like I'm so blessed because I live in what I call the happiest corner of the horse internet. People are so kind on my TikTok. And again, I was in the music industry and I had some pretty mean people. I had some really nice people.
Have a backbone to do that.
Yeah. And so I hesitated getting back on social media and being active because I thought, oh God, we've all seen armchair trainers on social media and they just eviscerate even the best of our industry.
Jamie goes through it all the time, and she retrains thoroughbreds.
That has never happened to me. Listen, okay. And I would also like to point out, Liz, that you and I are spirit animals because I have Craigslist Carl.
Oh, Craigslist Carl! Can I look him up right now? Where can I find Craigslist Carl?
Oh, he does need his own page, Jamie.
He is also put together by a committee, except for he's like 14'1" and about a mile and a half long.
Oh, bless him. Craigslist Carl.
As wide as a truck and just the sweetest little angel baby. We just our whole thing is we just go, Carl don't care. Carl don't care. Craigslist Carl don't care. Nothing bothers him. He don't care.
You need to see Craigslist Carl for my life to be complete.
Okay, I'll make sure I get you a photo or video today and send it over to you. But I have a Facebook page called Flyover Farm, Jamie Jennings, and you can look them up there. And there's all sorts of colorful stuff because like you have the youth of Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I have the senior numbers of Facebook only. So
I am going. Here we go.
A difference too.
Okay,
so the big question is, who's grumpier, the commenters on TikTok and Instagram or Facebook? I think Facebook.
I feel like I'm so lucky because I don't see a lot of grumps on either side, and I was only on TikTok until February when everyone was afraid that TikTok was going to go bye-bye. And now that I'm on Facebook, I'm like, why did I not get on here so long? People are I feel very lucky, and I hope I don't jinx it.
I think partly because of the way you don't take yourself seriously. So that comes across, and that helps, right? I mean, that does help. Because who can pick on you? You're already picking on yourself. I mean, that's part of it.
People have rushed to Missy's defense when they thought we weren't being nice to her. And
actually working her and making her do something.
Yeah. Or just come to her defense when, again, the saddle fitter just ripped her apart or, if we're poking fun at her, people are like, hey, Missy tries.
I hate my comments today.
Oh, no. Hey, especially y'all are experienced horse people. So I think that's the fun of it, too, is I have a lot of folks who follow and they don't know, they're not horse people per se, but they just find her so silly and endearing that they've kind of gotten into the Missyverse. And
I think that's a better group because they don't know what they're looking at.
My parents aren't horse people. And when my mom first saw her, she goes, oh, she looks like a teddy bear. I love her. And meanwhile, I had to explain to my mom, like, people who don't know horses think she's really adorable. And people who do know horses, like you were saying, Jamie, just bless her.
Oh, bless her.
But you know what? We always say that usually horses end up with the people they're supposed to be with. And obviously, Missy ended up with you for a reason, right?
I hope so. It's funny because initially we had said, gosh, if Tantine doesn't make an embryo, and I think that ship has sailed for us, which is really sad. We love her, but I don't think she's gonna comply. We'd initially said, well, at least, maybe we could get Missy schooled up and find a good home for her. And clearly she said, oh, hell no, I'm staying right here.
Okay, time out. I thought you were going to say, since we didn't get an embryo out of her, we'll just breed Missy. Oh,
no. So here's the other part. Again, this was all a recent development. I didn't know Cairo's breeding for until this last year, and so my world got rocked. I've done a couple videos with Etalon Genetics. They also did a DNA panel on Missy, which was hilarious. But
we're going to try to get a DNA panel on Craigslist Carl. So
Do it!
with Edelon, they're amazing.
They are incredible. I can't say enough good things about my experience with them. And it was just it was a total fluke to find Cairo's dad. They'd actually used the breeding farm where he came from to get DNA or to get data for Connemara's. So it was just the perfect scenario. But all that to be said, Cairo's dad is still alive and breeding, but like he's old. We don't know how long. And it did cross my mind. I'm like, God, either a Missy Cairo daddy baby would be, I mean, the downest, coolest. Cairo has herded cows. He swam in the ocean. Like I have done everything with that horse. Either it would be this compact, long-legged, big action rock star, or it would be, again, a box of spare parts. And I don't know if
I would call Guinness World Book of Records before the baby's born. You might, out of that one, get the ugliest baby ever born.
Oh, no. It would either be his grandfather has his own Breyer horse. Either it would be the coolest thing you've ever seen, or it would just be
depends which
a biological, 100% a biological disaster. And I don't know if I have the heart to find out yet.
Well, I will tell you, my theory on breeding is breed the best of the best to get the best.
Yes.
So
you
know what though? These little ones, though, the little challenged, bless her heart ones like Craigslist Carl, like Missy, those are the ones that for some reason that bring us absolutely the most joy. And obviously you are living the story of joy with your little sweet little Missy. So congratulations. And I love how you tell her story and you keep a nice, happy perspective about it and the positivity that you guys have on all of your training stuff that you have, like even just like the water jump, the invisible water jump posts that you made, like those are fantastic. And that's the kind of attitude and emotion that we as horse people that are putting things on the internet probably need to have. All horse people actually just in general need to have a good sense
Chill
of
out
humor.
a little. Yeah.
Thank you. You know, we're so lucky to do this. I mean, just the sheer fact that horses exist and that we get to ride them and that they play our reindeer games and sometimes even actually want to hang out with us. We're so lucky. Anything else on top of that is just icing on the cake. And obviously horses are hard work. There's heartbreak left and right, expenses, good God. But it's still, you know, why play the game if you're not having fun? Or why? Yeah, exactly.
We're going to end on that. I will put the links to all of your socials in the show notes so everybody can find you. If they haven't followed the Moose Llama, then they can do that. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you so much, Glenn and Jamie. This has been so fun. Thank you.
Your horse's health deserves the highest standard of quality, and that's why Nutramax, the makers of Cosequin, maintains their world-class manufacturing facilities in the United States, where they far exceed what is required of supplement companies. Nutramax works with top universities and researchers in their field to make sure your horse has nothing but the highest quality supplements. With the mission of improving the lives of people and their horses, each product is backed by more than 80 quality checks and guaranteed to meet label claims so you can purchase with confidence. With over 30 years behind the Cosequin name, you can rely on Cosequin products for when performance matters. Visit Cosequin.com to learn more.
So I came across this list that's on a website called everydayequine.ca. And I don't know, I just stumbled on it. And it was, and you know, down here in Ocala, trail riding is the thing. Because we have miles and hundreds of miles of trails all over Ocala that you can ride on. And I found this article, The Best Horse Breeds for Trail Riding, and it was done by Rachel Bedard, who is the one who runs this website. And actually, there's some good articles in here. She's a good writer. But I want you to guess which she picked as her top 10, and we'll see if we agree, okay? So do you have any guesses? Breeds that are the best for trail riding?
I mean, I got to go with quarter horse. Number one.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to argue with quarter horse, right? It's the most popular horse in the world, and it's used for trail riding all over the place. So number one,
in the United States, it is not the most popular in the world. But I'm like, y'all need to get quarter horses for your trails because they are typically more solid and level-headed and, you know, comfortable, all of those things.
And actually getting a lot more popular in Europe now. There's a lot of quarter horses over there now.
We used to go, when I lived in Kentucky, we would go down to Big South Fork and trail ride. And there was always two groups of trail riders, okay? The people with the quarter horses. I had a thoroughbred, but I would be with the people with the quarter horses because that group goes at a different pace than the other most popular one, which was the Tennessee walking horse.
Yeah, that's on the list. And they went a little faster, didn't they?
Hey, we would be like, see you guys at the end.
Tennessee walking horse, definitely on the list for sure. So,
okay.
Yeah, you're doing good so far.
Okay, so I got 2. A quarter horse. I would say, I don't know, man. I mean, that's the only types like I see people riding at paints.
Paints you got to go with the ones related to quarter horses, kind of, right? Paints, Appaloosas are on the list, which, I agree with all of those because you do see them there's a couple here. Mustangs is on the list. They were good trail horses for you too. I mean, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Thor was like, I don't know where we're going, but I'm going to get there.
That's what he's still doing, right? He's still doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Zeus was good too. They were great trail horses.
Yeah.
Again, like being in the woods was like totally fine to them. I will say that I do have an Andalusian who spooks at everything.
Andalusian is on the list, by the way.
Really?
I thought of you, and I thought, not your version.
I got a dud.
You did get a dud.
Miles will be walking along, and you can hear, like, he's in a pasture, and deer are always in the pasture. Yeah, we go in the woods, and he'll be like, I smell a deer 500 yards away. I can't move.
If he ever sees a lion or a bear, he's going to just die of a heart attack.
Yeah, no, he'll just drop me on the ground and outrun me.
So
be the slowest.
She has a list: quarter horses, paint horses, Morgan horses, which is a breed that is very popular, and we don't think a lot about because I've never owned one.
Yeah,
and I think you've never owned one either, but yet they're very popular, especially in the East. This is you would have never guessed this one ever in 100 years. Yet it is the most popular here in Ocala. We see them all the time on the trails, Pasafinos.
Oh, yeah.
See them all the time. And now it's not the little ding, 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 ding Pasafinos. This is the Pasafinos you trail ride with. And I got to tell you, when you see them going, they're also quick, like the Tennessee walking horses. Some of them are quick, some are a little slower. But those people that sitting in that saddle never have to stand up in their stirrups. They're just sitting there as smooth as could be, and they can ride forever. So there's a reason Jennifer got a gaited horse. Rocky Mountain horse. Next on the list.
I was going to say, are there more gated horses listed? Yeah.
Same reason. Appaloosa's on the list. I had an Appaloosa too. That was a good trail horse. Tennessee Walker. The next one, and this is all they're used for as far as I know. Some of them show, but mostly Icelandic horses used for trail riding, right? That's what they do.
Yeah, okay. If you're in Iceland. I don't see a whole bunch of Icelandic horses running through the hills of Oklahoma.
Probably not Oklahoma, no. East Coast, you'll see some, but I don't think in Oklahoma you're going to see a lot. And then Mustang and the Andalusian. I would agree with most of those. I can't think of another breed that I would say I see a lot on the trails here. You do see some thoroughbreds, not as many as you would think.
What about Arabians? They're like the perfect ones that just go and go and go. That wasn't on the list?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of Arabians with trail riders. I see a lot of Arabians with endurance riders or, competition like that. I don't see a lot of them with trail riders. And I think part of that is usually when you go out trail riding, you're going out with a group and you want to stay with the group. And, Arabs are usually quicker, and they just have better stamina and they're going to be leading the pack by a distance. So if you're going out with a bunch of Arabs, then it would work. But yeah, so I think that's part of it too. Jennifer's been having she came in so excited yesterday. She rode for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. And she said that she got her horse to do the gait, whatever the gait is. We can't figure out which gait it is. But the gated gait, she got him to do it for a long period of time along the roads. We have big grass strips along the roads here. And she said he just went. And she said it was so much fun. She was giggling the whole time she was telling me about it. So she is having a great time with her gaited horse. And she's learning because she's having to learn how to keep him in the gait. She said he has 2 or 3 versions of the gait at different speeds. So she's learning how to keep him in the gait. So she's having a lot of fun with her gaited horse. I'm glad to see that's working out for her. So and the other thing we did over the weekend, we went out and got a round pen.
Oh, good.
We never had a round pen before. And Scooter has this habit of pulling your arms out when you're trying to lunge him because he's a pony. And that's his thing. And we can't get him not to do it. So we got a round pen. And today I lunged him without that lunge line. And my arms are so much better for it. And he's great. He just goes around the edge. So, yeah, we got a round pen. So we did that.
Congrats.
Thank you. Are you confident that your saddle truly fits? What's often mistaken as behavioral resistance in a horse may in fact be a response to pain or discomfort caused by poor saddle fit. Schleza's comprehensive 80-point evaluation includes both static and dynamic assessments conducted by a highly trained team of certified professionals. Schleza experts are equipped to evaluate any brand of saddle, applying a rigorous biomechanical and anatomical approach that examines spinal clearance, shoulder freedom, saddle support area parameters, and overall symmetry between horse and rider. Knowing how your saddle fits and what can be done if it doesn't is your key to a horse's health, comfort, and performance. Book your appointment today at schleza.com. That's SCHLEESE.com. Well, that's it for today's main show. We'll have a post show for you. We're going to talk about how they screw up horses in movies, and the Reddit thread I found was kind of funny. So we're going to do that in the post show. But in the meantime, we'll have a full week of shows here for you this week. I appreciate you joining us. We'll have the Endurance episode tomorrow, the NRHA on Thursday, and Jamie and I will be here Wednesday and Friday as well. Get your weird news into weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com. Be safe, everybody.
Spay, neuter, and geld.